What is going on, everyone? Chris with Journals, Comics, and Pop Culture. Here is a video looking at a collection that I thought would be finally worth it, but even I was duped by some of the tactics that these sellers pull when they're trying to hawk off these super large collections. So this went from one that I thought was going to be valid and have validity to probably the biggest, I don't want to say scams, but the biggest shams out of any of the videos that I've ever done on these collection listings. Guys, I highly recommend you watch this all the way to the end to actually see the lies, the straight out lies in the tactics that this individual is using to hawk off 20,000 comic books. If you aren't subscribed to the channel, please take some time to do so. Check out all the links in the description below as well, but let's just get into this. So there's a lot of pictures here, and this guy breaks it down. We do have an Excel sheet of every single book. So let's just go right into looking at what he said. And I'm going to explain to you as I'm reading this what kind of really grabbed me and thought, man, this really might be one that is solid. Let's read. It's taken me a year, but I finally completed a major downsize of my 50,000 plus comic collection. These 66 boxes, which equals 19,793 books, give or take in case I missed a few, represent titles and characters that I no longer want, as well as all sorts of things that I have picked up over the past 40 years. All are bagged and boarded, and the boxes are in my finished basement. Okay, so one thing I want to make clear of here, this seems to truly be an individual collector that has amassed a huge, large collection and is just truly willing to part with some of it. I'm doing some of that as well myself. A lot of these videos that I do are resellers that are hawking off inventory that they can't even sell in 50-cent bins in bulk. This seems to be different, but let's continue to read. It does not. Look at this. It does not include hundreds of copies of Death of Superman or a ton of junk like Youngblood, Robin 2, or free comic book day giveaways. There's a little bit of duplication, but it's less than 5% as I already tossed the junk whilst shorting. Okay, I'm reading this and I'm like, thank goodness. I mean, I just did a video on like Death of Superman stuff and the Return of Superman, Superman 500. He's got a whole case. So I'm thinking like, okay, man, we got 20,000 books here from a personal collection. And he's really clarifying in bold letters. It does not include any of this junk. Let's continue on what he has to say here. I have estimated the conditions of all the books on an 8.0, 6.0, 4.0 scale, and CLZ gives a total value of $89,000. That's what he's saying the value of this collection is. And I'm even looking at this and I'm like, okay, I'm liking that he's not like just looking at everything as like near mint. That's cool. If you could pull half of that in your shop, booth, or show, you're already doubling your money. 60 major keys and over 2,000 minor key issues. Almost everything is pre-2000s. Wow. Okay. I'm already looking at this. Okay. He's being conservative with his grading in terms of valuing the collection. 60 major keys, man. I'm thinking, man, there's definitely got to be like, Secret Wars 8 or maybe at ASM 252 or maybe, a first Red Hood or, maybe a first Deadpool. Like, there's got to be something here, right? Maybe even like a second appearance of the Punisher, maybe not a first, but maybe a second or a third. Like, I'm thinking like major keys. Like, I'm sure he doesn't have any major grails, like I said, a first Punisher, Hulk 181 or anything like that. But, maybe a couple books that are really worth, $100+ calling these major keys. Okay. And then minor keys. All right. Again, like even minor keys is in like, I don't know, stuff that could be worth $50 to $100+, right? Let's continue on. Breakdowns on the titles and other information is in the pictures. The other pictures show the general condition as I opened a few boxes and spread out the contents on my pool table. Happy to provide a full Excel, the full collection on request, which I have. Please let me know if you have any other questions or want to see any specific pictures, and I will do the best to respond. Is this still available? Messages and lowball offers will be ignored and you will be blocked. Please don't waste my time and yours. So I'm reading all this and I'm like, man, this guy, he really is handling business. He's putting it all out there and he's so confident in what he has that he's saying, don't waste my time or your own time. I like that. Let's handle the business. And he's so confident that he even goes to say, you will be blocked with a low ball offer. So what is he asking for these 19,793.94 comics? Bam, right here. $22,000. So I'm thinking, okay, man, what is that? That's $1.11 per book. That's a lot of money. So again, that if who are you attracting with 20,000 comic books? Well, like he even said, if you have a storefront or you do shows and all this stuff, he's attracting resellers and dealers. He's not attracting collectors. What collector is going to drop $22,000 on 20,000 comic books? I mean, it better be a wealthy collector and he better have a lot of stuff that's worth actual money. But even as a dealer, looking at this in bulk, that's over $1 a book. And I always go back to the Comic Tom Golden Age Guru Golden Age collection, where he paid what was it, 60 something cents a book, where he probably sold 10 of the books and got their money back, out of 250,000 books. That's precedent. But let's just look at the pictures here. Let's see what he's got. Okay, lots of books. That's a nice clean carpet there, right there. He keeps the stuff clean. I like that. All the boxes are labeled, it looks like. All right, so we got some Batman. Okay, we got some copper and up to modern, copper and modern, 80s to early 90s, and some new rebirth Batman. Okay, an A-list DC character, Batman. That's great. Now, we do have you can see a few late Silver Age action comics and Supermans in here, but it's mostly Bronze Age to copper and some modern, some early 90s in here too. Okay, cool. Superman is cool. Here's some like C to D list stuff. I mean, you do have some Justice League stuff in here, but Teen Titans, you do have, I see a reprint of a key of the X-Men, Teen Titans special there. That's a collector's reprint. You can see by the gold frame. But I don't, modern stuff, Justice League Europe. Not seeing a lot of stuff here. Some rebirth stuff in here too. Okay, look, we got Spectacular, the 30th anniversary, a couple of them. That's a, $5 to $8 book. And some Spider-Man stuff. So again, I mean, it's A-list Spider-Man. You have the Marvel Masterpiece reprint of Amazing Fantasy, which is maybe in high grade a $20 book. But this is all 90s stuff. You do have Venom Lethal Protector #1, which is like, what is it still? Is it still selling for about $20 book? Maybe less than that now because the market just being down. But I'm not seeing any major keys here. I've seen a couple of really minor keys. Again, this is mostly 90s and up stuff here that we see. We see a couple of Bronze Age stuff, but again, mostly modern 90s stuff here. We got some cool Fantastic Four stuff, but again, mostly 80s and 90s. We have a few late Bronze Age. All right, and here's what he has right here. He's got the 19,000 plus. He's got, a good amount of X-Men, some Thor, some Spidey, good amount of Spidey. But a lot of this is a red flag right here. Even though it's Marvel miscellaneous. All right, this means that when you're even looking at the big two, right, or DC miscellaneous, 4,000 Marvel miss over 4,000 DC miscellaneous. What does that mean? There's not a lot of A-list titles, even in the bulk of the big two. There's a lot of probably C and D list titles. That's what that's telling me right there. Okay, now he's got a lot of indie too, and we're going to come back to that. He says that it's not a lot of young blood and junk like that. Okay, we're going to get down to where the red flags and the possible lies are. Yes, I'm saying it right now. Is this guy actually lying to us? But let's keep going. Here's where we find the first huge red flag, okay? He's got everything in his CLZ app, which the CLZ app and the values, they are, okay, take it with a grain of salt. Take it with a grain of salt. Look at here. Here's his $89,000 value. Look at his most valuable comics, guys. $44 for Creeps #1, which he's got as a near mint plus, which is, I don't know how accurate that is. He's got the Amazing Spider-Man $430, which is where Carnage possesses Silver Surfer. $42. He's got a Tomb Raider book for 40, the Granov variant ASM 569 at 40, and one Silver Age action comic in a 4.0 that he's got out of $40, which is honestly kind of high. That's not even a key comic book. Guys, the highest comic book that he owns out of these 19,700 and something books is a $40 book, is a couple $40 books. What happened to the 60 major keys? Again, when I think major keys, it has to be worth at least a 3-digit, at least $100, at least. But even then, a major key, to me, should probably be more than that. I mean, but if it's a low-grade Silver Age key, whatever, 100 and something dollars, fine. Nah, big red flag. Yeah, these are his major keys. Here's a few more of them. He's got, Amazing Spider-Man 365, a couple copies, valued at roughly $30. This is just a couple Spawn number ones, valued at $25. McFarlane number one, valued at $20. The Annual Wedding ASM, $20. First Mockingbird. Like, dude, this is not, I mean, cool. These are some nice, cool little minor keys. These are not major keys, especially when we're talking about value. So, all right, you've heard enough already, but we're going to pull up the Excel sheet, guys. And this is one thing that I give this guy credit for. Honestly, he wasted his time. This guy made a spreadsheet where he listed all 19,000 comic books, guys, including a grade, including a cover price, including cover date, year, publisher, and what cover price, the value that he was getting him. He's got random junk in here, guys, valued at, $5-6+ dollars. I mean, he had some. Let's go to I'm not gonna spend too much time looking at this because I want you guys to get to the breakdown. Stick with me here. We're gonna get to the breakdown, guys. How much of this stuff is actually modern, how much of this stuff is actually independent in image. I mean, he's got modern stuff listed at $6. Aryan stuff listed at like $8. Dude, this is dollar bin, 50-cent bin stuff all day long. Again, I went through all of this. There is there's a little bit of Batman, there's a good amount of Spidey, but it's all modern. It's all modern. There's a good little bit of action Superman which is literally a few Silver Age, a scattered little bit of Bronze Age, mostly modern stuff. And yes, most of this is like D-list stuff. Few Captain Americas, it's all modern. I'm not even like a few Fantastic Fours. It's there's a small bit of bronze, some copper, and then all modern. It's not what he said it was to be. Mostly copper and modern Iron Man. But let's go. I broke it down, guys. Now again, kudos to this guy. He even did a table here where he broke down how many books are from each year. Look at this. You could see, starting from 1940, he has like 3 Golden Age books, and they're like an indie, no value, gold key, whatever. Look at where the numbers start getting thick. In the 80s and 90s and 2000s. Okay. Now, I did a breakdown. All this right here is a breakdown that I did. All of this. We're going to look at what he actually has. Before we do that, let's go back and look at what he said here. Can we do that? Can we see what he said? Remember what he said? He said, it does not include hundreds of copies of Death of Superman or a ton of junk like Youngblood, Rabbit Tour, FCBD giveaways. And he also said that it's, what did he say? 80%, where did he say that? The big two. 80% Marvel and DC. No trash. Well, sorry guys. It's flat out lie. Because the majority of this stuff is close to trash. Let's go back and look at it. Now, indie. Let's look at indie right here. There's 4,726 indie books. That's 24% of the entire collection that he's selling. That right there is a quarter. 1/4. That's a quarter of his collection. That's a large amount. That means that his big two are roughly 75 to 76%, not 80. And what did he round up? No. That's not how you round up. That's a lie. Now let's look at this. Silver Age. He only has 181 Silver Age books, which equals, look at this. This isn't 9%, guys. This is 0.09%. Do you know what that equals? Do you know that equals 9/100ths? 9/100ths of a percent is Silver Age. That is roughly 1/10 of 1% is Silver Age. 3 Golden Age, which doesn't even, it's like 0.0000001%. Bronze Age, only 12%. 2,390 books. There's only 12% Bronze Age. Okay. Copper, 21%. Now, look at this. How much of this collection is modern? 12,942 books, which is 65%. That is 2/3 of the collection is modern. And what did he say? He tried to act like none of it was junk. So looking at the numbers here, we got post 2000, so that means 2000 and up, and current 6,164, which equals 31%. Although the majority of the collection is, pre-2000, 31% is still a huge amount, and the majority of the rest of it is still modern, right? Okay. And then again, the indie being at close to 25% and him acting like there wasn't all this young blood stuff. There actually is a lot of young blood stuff and image stuff, which again, some of the stuff he has marked above $5 for a value, which is just inaccurate. But let's look at the breakdown in terms of pricing now, guys. His asking price again is $22,000, which equals $1.11 a book. Okay, I'm gonna tell you right now, the bulk rate for what he has here, he has not one major key. I don't care what anyone says. He doesn't have a major key. Spawn 1 isn't a major key. ASM 365 isn't a major key. I mean, they're solid modern books, but major, it could be taken for like a major event or a major character, but it also has to be paired with a certain value. Those are not major keys. And all the things that he's calling minor keys, it's like, oh, first appearance of Simple Simon. For you guys that watch my channel, you know what I'm talking about. The bulk average for what he's selling right here for his 19,793.94 books is going to be $10 a book, guys. And where does that put us? At $2,000. At $2,000. Now, a reasonable ask, in my humble opinion, not even say that he would get this, but a reasonable ask, meaning if I was him and I was actually trying to sell this in bulk, would be $0.25 a book. And that's $5,000. There is no way that this individual is going to get anything close to what he's asking. But what's new with this? But it just rubs me so wrong that this guy was so adamant. Oh, if no lowball offers or you will be blocked. When, I mean, he's not only is he misleading, not only is there red flags and he's misleading us, but I mean, he lied. He lied about what he had in there. $2,000 for something like this, like, I will say if I have an LCS and I have a decent, revenue flow coming in every month, every quarter, I could definitely see myself looking at this and dropping $2,000, dropping $10 a book, because while most of this, so it would take me a lifetime to sell all this stuff, right? For the most part. There are keys, there are the minor keys that you could sell. I can make a few $100s off of selling a couple of those Spawn number 1s, the ASM 365s, First Mockingbirds, but we do have a couple hundred books of some A and B list titles, like, even if they're copper and modern, I can stack those in my back issue bins and price them at, $3, $4 a piece. But again, the majority of this stuff is not dollar bin stuff, 50-cent bin stuff, and some of it even quarter bin stuff. So at $2,000, I can possibly make a little bit of money over the course of a year on my return. And it's a nice filler for some of my back issue bins maybe. But again, like, I'll be taking a lot of this stuff and doing like blind grab bags, giveaways. And again, it's like 19,000 comic books. Even if I have a store or a storage unit, it's going to cost me money to store this stuff. Okay. It would take a lot to work through this collection like this. So that's why the $5,000 is a reasonable asking price. Good luck getting that. Good luck getting that. Now, this guy broke this down as having a cover price. He spent $41,000 on all these books if he paid cover price for all these books. 99% of comics are worthless. And what I mean by that when I say it again and again is the majority of comic books, especially modern comic books, are just like any other commodity. As soon as you purchase them and drive it off the lot, as soon as you purchase them and rip the tag off, the resale value goes down. They depreciate in value. They do not appreciate. The majority of comic books depreciate. The majority of these comic books have depreciated below their cover price. He will never sell this collection for anything close to what he's asking for. And sir, if you're watching this video, block me. Go ahead and block me. Block me, rage out, sit here and say, I know what I have. You did all of that work to put together this amazing spreadsheet. Do the work in selling this collection like you should. Do what I've been doing. Have comic book garage sales. Make dollar bin books, make $2 boxes, make $2 boxes, make $3 boxes, make $5 boxes, make $10 boxes, make $20 boxes. Have a key box, have a minor key box. Buy 5, get 1 free out of the dollar boxes. Buy 5, get 1 free out of the $2 boxes. Take the time and make some money because you can. You can sell a lot of these for $2, $3, $4 a book. If you sell them individually, you are not getting anything close to this in your lingo, in the language, in the selling points that you used are misleading, and some of it is an utmost lie. This is probably, I mean, I'm looking back and I know there's been at least 1 or 2 where I've said this is the worst. I think this is the worst right here. Not in terms of what the guy necessarily has, but pairing what he has and how he tried to pitch this. This is a disgrace. It really is. And again, for all those coming in my comment section, oh, that's his comics. He can ask for whatever he wants. Yeah, he can. Yes, he can. But again, he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing by using the verbiage in the language that he used. And honestly, I don't understand how people can write this off and say, that's okay. Because we see it's normalized. It's normalized. I would rather this guy just simply say exactly what he has and throw a ridiculous price tag on it. Stop trying to fool people to get a sale. Sir, no collector will buy this, and no dealer will offer you anything close to what you're asking for this collection. We'll see how long this stays up on these marketplaces. That's all I got for you guys. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments below. What do you think of this collection? What do you think of my take? Is there anything that you would like in it? Would you buy the whole collection as a dealer, as a reseller, or as a collector? And what would your offer be? Thank you all so much again for watching. Be well, and until next time.